They do build everybody up in this country, and they do knock them down, and that's precisely what they've done to Harry. I get so upset about it. My husband drives him mad. I live right by them, mind. I'm 5 miles man and 7 from Charles. And I'm sick to the back teeth of them all, that the way they've ganged up on Harry like they did with Diana.
Yeah.
Okay, Harry's not perfect, but he's right to blame the press.
Well, Mike disagrees with you. You don't think they ganged up on him?
No, I don't think they gang up on them, Angela. You've got to remember the royal family are a public institution in this country. It's been around for a millennium. And there has to be access from the public to the royal family. And traditionally, that's always been done through the newspapers. It's an arrangement which both sides have worked happily with since the Second World War. And then all of a sudden, you know, Harry comes in, he's a breath of fresh air with Meghan. But then I think their demands, you know, within the royal family to be treated as superstars of the family backfired on them.
She could do no right, and then she could do no wrong.
I don't get this point you're trying to make about them. The thing is, this is what this family, they operate. They build them up. You want to think back to the 70s when Anne married
Mark Phillips.
And do you know what Charles used to call him? Foggy, because he was thick and wet. That's how they treat incomers into this family, and that's what they've done to Meghan. They're trying to destroy them, and the press is helping them.
They're not trying to destroy them, Angela. What do you mean they're trying to destroy them?
Why don't they stand by them then?
What do you mean? What do you mean they're trying to destroy them? Who is trying to destroy the royal family, an institution which is widely loved in this country? Nobody's trying to destroy anybody.
Briefing against Harry and Meghan. That's what she's saying.
No, we're not trying to destroy anybody.
You think so as well?
I think they are trying to destroy Harry and Meghan. 100%.
Why would they want to destroy them? Well, Carrie, why would they want to destroy them?
They can't be the
you
stars.
Tell me.
Well,
you tell me.
You've got to tell me. You made the accusation.
Because if you look at everything that Princess Kate does, Princess Catherine does, she can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Meghan can do no right, even if she does exactly the same things.
Yeah.
There is, whatever you want to call that, whatever the narrative is behind that, whatever value system people have that they put on her, their own racism or whatever, there is bad press about Meghan and unendingly great press about
Thanks to all our...
Good day, everyone. Welcome to our channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on the Jeremy Vine show, Mike Parry, and the royal family. In this video, we will delve into the truth that's finally coming to light. Recently, the Jeremy Vine show turned into a battleground for truth. The show, known for its lively debates, saw a shift in the narrative as callers, the voice of the public, stood up and spoke out against the habitual defender of the royal family, Mike Parry. Parry, a regular on the show, is infamous for his unwavering support for the monarchy, often brushing aside any criticism or scrutiny that threatens to tarnish the royal image. But this time around, the callers were not having it. They came prepared, ready to challenge Parry's weak arguments and persistent deflection. It was clear that the public had grown tired of the same old narrative being spun around the royal family, and they were no longer willing to sit back and let it go unchallenged. Parry, who has made a career out of defending the indefensible, found himself on the back foot. His attempts to shield the monarchy from the harsh light of truth fell flat as the callers, one by one, tore down his arguments. His defense of an institution that has shown itself time and again to be outdated and toxic was met with a resounding enough from the public. The callers didn't just challenge Parry. They challenged the entire narrative that has been spun around the royal family. They refused to let the conversation be dominated by the usual media spin. Instead, they brought to light the truth about the monarchy and the role it has played in the lives of its members. One such caller was Angela. Her powerful words echoed the sentiments of many, and she didn't mince her words when it came to the royal family. Prince Harry fell victim to the British press's relentless smear campaign, she said, a sentiment that resonated with many listeners. Angela's words marked a turning point in the conversation, and it was clear that the public was no longer willing to let the narrative be controlled by the defenders of the monarchy. One caller, Angela, took a stand and her words resonated with many. Angela's words echoed the sentiments of many. She agreed with Cary Grant 1, stating the undeniable truth. Angela, a caller on the Jeremy Vine show, didn't mince words. She voiced out her frustration with the relentless smear campaign against Prince Harry by the British press. The press, backed by the royal establishment, had been on a mission to tarnish Harry's image. They twisted narratives, framed stories, and painted a picture of a prince who had chosen happiness over the control of an institution that had refused to evolve with time. Angela was not alone in her revolt against this misrepresentation. Callers, one after the other, stood up against the toxic narrative, challenging the weak arguments put forth by Mike Parry, a habitual defender of the royal family. They refused to be swayed by the web of lies spun by the press and the establishment. Prince Harry, a victim of an unrelenting and biased media, was defended by these callers. They reminded everyone that Harry was a man who dared to choose his own path, who dared to stand up against an institution that had repeatedly failed those who did not conform. This revolt was not just about defending Harry. It was about challenging an outdated, toxic institution that had long lost its relevance. The callers refused to let the usual media spin dominate the conversation. They stood up for justice, for the truth, and for Harry's right to choose happiness over control. Mike Parry, a staunch supporter of the royal family, found himself on the losing side. His feeble attempts at defending the monarchy fell flat. The callers, aware of the truth, made sure he heard it loud and clear. The public knows the truth, and they made sure Mike Parry heard it loud and clear. The truth is winning, and it's clear that the lies and deflections of the royal family's defenders are no longer sufficient to sway public opinion. The callers' revolt on the Jeremy Vine show is a testament to this shift, a shift towards truth, transparency, and justice. No amount of deflection can change the fact that the royal family has shown itself to be an outdated, toxic institution. This is a reality that many are beginning to wake up to. The royal family, with its rigid traditions and protocols, has proven time and time again that it is not a place for those who wish to be authentic, to be themselves. It is an institution that demands conformity, that expects individuals to fit into a mold, to follow a script written centuries ago. This is not a place for someone like Prince Harry, who dared to choose happiness over control, who dared to challenge the status quo. The monarchy's response to Harry's defiance was not one of understanding or acceptance, but of retaliation. The British press, backed by the royal establishment, launched a relentless smear campaign against him, twisting narratives and painting him as the villain. But the truth, as they say, has a way of revealing itself. The public, much to the monarchy's dismay, is not as easily fooled as they'd like to think. The callers on the Jeremy Vine show are a testament to this. They saw through the lies, they questioned the narratives being sold to them. They stood up for justice, for truth. They refused to let the usual media spin dominate the conversation. One caller, Angela, eloquently stated a truth that many have come to realize. Prince Harry fell victim to the British press's relentless smear campaign. And she's absolutely right. The real villain here is not Harry, but the institution that sought to control him, that sought to punish him for daring to be different. The callers on the Jeremy Vine show made their voices heard. They made their stance clear. They didn't just challenge the narratives being sold to them, they tore them apart. They stood up for Harry, for justice, for truth. They made it clear. Harry was never the problem. The institution was. The public's reaction to Mike Parry's defense of the royal family was a sight to behold. The callers on the Jeremy Vine show refused to be placated by Parry's attempts to paint the royal family in a positive light. The voices of the public were strong, unwavering, and most importantly, they were not fooled by the media's persistent attempts to vilify Prince Harry. The callers weren't merely spectators in this media circus. They were active participants, boldly challenging the narrative that Parry and his ilk tried to perpetuate. They were the ones who took the reins of the conversation, steering it away from the usual media spin and towards the harsh reality. And it was a reality that Parry, in his blind defense of the monarchy, was unwilling to acknowledge. This wasn't just a conversation, it was a revolution. It was the public standing up against the lies, against the character assassination of Prince Harry, and against the toxic institution that is the royal family. It was a clear message from the public that they won't tolerate any more lies, any more manipulation, any more attempts to control the narrative. The implications of this event are profound. It's a clear signal that the public is no longer willing to blindly accept what the media feeds them. They want the truth, and they're not afraid to challenge those who try to distort it. It's a testament to the power of the public voice and a reminder that truth will always prevail over lies. And in the face of this public uprising, one thing was abundantly clear. Harry has more public support than the royal family, and their defenders would ever want to admit. The callers on the Jeremy Vine show made that clear. They stood up for justice, for truth, and for Harry. And in doing so, they showed the world that the public is done tolerating the lies. The truth is winning, and it's about time. In conclusion, it's clear that the tide is turning. The Jeremy Vine show, often a platform for debate, became a battleground for truth, where the callers were the triumphant soldiers, refusing to accept anything less than honesty. Mike Parry, a staunch defender of the royal family, found himself on the losing side, his arguments falling flat in the face of an informed and resolute public. This episode highlighted the undeniable truth. Prince Harry was subjected to a relentless smear campaign by the British press, backed by the royal establishment. A brave prince who chose happiness and freedom over control, he has been unfairly maligned for years. But the callers, like the voice of reason in a sea of deception, weren't fooled. They challenged the lies, standing up for justice and making sure their voices were heard. The callers' revolt on the show was a clear indication of the public's support for Prince Harry. It was a powerful testament to the fact that people are waking up to the undeniable truth about the royal family, an institution that has repeatedly proven to be outdated and toxic, failing those who dare to deviate from its rigid ways. Moreover, the public's reaction demolished the usual media spin, proving that truth and justice are prevailing over deceit and manipulation. The support for Harry is greater than the royal family and their defenders would ever want to admit, and it's time they faced the reality. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe, like, and share. Goodbye.